You do Gollum voice.
Exactly. Oh, yep, that's gone. Hey guys, welcome to the Past Our Expiration podcast. I'm Brad. This is
Ellie.
And we're going to have a few conversations today about things that we've decided over the week. Lots has happened this week.
Yes. Yeah, lots has happened this week. I feel like it's gone so fast.
Yes.
And I feel like we're behind on the news already.
Oh, absolutely. Even
You
today,
know what I mean?
Even today, I was like, I got home at 6 p.m. and I feel like I closed my eyes and it was 9:30 already. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yes.
I was
What even
closing
is
my
time?
eyes, and each time I closed my eyes, an hour would pass. I was like, obviously in micro sleeps, right? Like obviously,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, am I just like, I fully thought something had happened with like daylight savings or something. And like the time
you
was,
had
I thought
right.
my clock was like going bad because it's currently midnight. So
Oh, that's right. This really stuffs you up. So because I have a itty bitty baby, we have to do the podcast really late at night when she does her big sleep, and it's only 9:30 for me, which is not too bad in the grand scheme of things.
this
But
itty
poor
bitty
Brad,
baby, this itty bitty
poor
baby.
Brad has to stay
I'm
out
in
until the
Melbourne.
wee small hours
Yes.
for me.
But that's fine because I work late in the day, so it's not really an issue for me.
Yeah, you work semi nights, not like graveyard shift nights, but
Yeah,
like 1 p.m. start sort of thing. Yeah,
1 p.m. start, 9 p.m. finish usually.
yeah.
And working from home, I mean, it's really not that bad. You know who's been putting in the work this week? Britney Spears. Have you seen that?
I thought you were about to say Bryce for some reason. I was like,
Bryce.
oh, tell me more.
Britney
And
Spears.
Bryce.
Have you seen
Britney.
the video, the knife video?
I have, and it's so funny because I saw all of the memes first,
Yes, me
like
too.
all of
That's
the
exactly
video
it.
memes, and I'm like, have I missed something? Like I just woke up one day and was like, what is happening with Britney? What is going on? What have I missed? And then
What
like
has
I
she
had to
done
search the
now?
original. Yeah, what has she done now? And I'm like having to search the original and be like, what's going on, Britney? What's going on?
I kept seeing all these videos of her like at a hibachi grill, like Benihana, and she's like serving up eggs. Oh my God. What is happening there? I feel like we
don't know.
released her from a terrible situation. Now
We did. Is it time to unfree Britney? I don't know. I worry for her.
I mean, Dancing with Knives isn't necessarily an indicator of like a mental health crisis, but I feel like, you know,
I mean, it's not a good sign.
a good sign. It's not, and like she was kind of handy with him, right? She was like kind of
Yeah.
She was kind of handy with him.
I
mean,
was fearing for those dogs, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, so were they. They left the room. They said, "I'm going to
I
distance
was
myself
like-
from this narrative."
Don't
They
drop
said,
one of
"Flee,
those knives. It's a
Britney."
tiny, yeah.
Oh my
Flee
God.
Britney alone.
That, yeah. I wonder what Chris Crocker thinks about it.
Yeah, what is he up
Are
to?
they cancelled? I feel like probably, right?
I don't know.
Just statistically
Maybe.
speaking.
Probably.
Anybody who
if you've been
fraternised
on
with
the
Chantalson.
internet long enough. That too. Yes.
But yeah, I saw this video on TikTok. I saw it on TikTok first. They superimposed like a Benihana outfit on her, and I was like, "What?
fantastic.
They put knives in her hands? No, she put knives in
They're
her
like,
hands."
wow, the editing, it's so smooth, so
was
clean.
like-
Like, how did they
I was
do
like,
that?
AI has been so impressive. I fully thought it
They
was AI
finally
because it's like,
fixed
what the
how to
fuck?
make hands.
Yes.
They've done it. The AI is coming for us, and then you realize, no,
No,
Britney's really just dancing with knives.
She's in a
I did not
manic
have
episode.
Britney dancing with knives on my 2023 bingo card. I don't know about you.
No. I didn't fucking have what's his name dying either. The guy from Harry Potter. Dumbledore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I got confused because the original Dumbledore died a
Yes.
really long time ago, right? And then they had to recast him. So I think after was it just the first movie?
I think it was the first and the second, right?
The first and the second.
I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Because it was, I remember it being very early on, and then they had to recast.
I remember Hagrid died, and that hit me very hard.
Oh yeah,
And
that was sad.
I feel like if McGonagall goes, that's
Oh,
where I'll
God.
be. Because I didn't really grow up with Harry Potter, right? I Didn't read the books. I watched some of the movies. It wasn't until much later that I watched all of them. I don't know why. I guess lack of access, but
Was it?
I
I
did
mean,
enjoy
you're
them when I
a
saw
lot
them.
younger than me, so I think maybe it was kind of a weird time period when everything went crazy. Maybe when everything was quite popular.
I feel like the first one came out when I came out, right? Like, when was the first one released?
Testing my lot. This is like a trivia. I'd have to
When
Google it.
was
Hang on,
the
let's find
Sorcerer's
out.
Stone
Do you
released?
mean the movie or the book?
The movie. I feel like the movie came out.
Okay. Because I mean, the books went pretty hard too before the movies went crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the craze of the books. Like, that's how old I am.
I feel like Prisoner of Azkaban was out when the first movie was coming out, right?
Possibly. Okay. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone came out in November for Australia. This is Australian release. 2001. November 2001.
Following up 9/11. Wow, that's a that's
a tough ask.
upstaging.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess this is Australia release. I don't know if it's the same. It might have
else.
been a different US release. Let's
Maybe.
find out. Oh, it doesn't even want to give it to me. It's like, you're not in.
Maybe
not in the
look
US.
up
Why do you need this
Philosopher's
info?
Stone. Or Sorcerer's Stone, it's called
That's probably right.
in America.
Oh, but the book came out. That can't be right. Oh, yeah, I guess 1998.
That's me. That's me.
1990. God, I feel so old. 1998.
you
I can't believe
are.
it was a 90s book, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, that blows my mind because,
Really?
yeah.
My
I mean,
brother
yeah,
had all of them.
2001 is so, yeah. I don't know.
My
It just
brother
blows
read
my
them
mind.
all, had them all, and I
Yeah.
tried to read one, but I didn't. Okay, I was young, so I didn't really understand how serialized books worked. So
Right. Did you
I'd
read
be-
them out of order?
I did. I sure did. I read The Order of the Phoenix, and then
Wow.
I think I read Half-Blood Prince after that.
So you're
which-
going in like,
But
what
yeah,
is
I was like,
happening?
who are these characters and what the fuck
Yeah.
is this tent? I
You're
was
like, wow, this author is terrible at giving me any kind of information on these characters. I don't know what's going on.
which she's terrible for other reasons now, but
Correct, yes.
yes, yeah.
But in the early 2000s, we didn't know that. So,
No, I don't think she knew that either, to be fair.
well, I mean, maybe not. I guess it wasn't as much of a narrative in the early 2000s, right?
But yes,
Yeah.
so new Dumbledore died. I'm so bad with names.
No, yeah, I
But the way I found out
say.
was TikTok. The way I find out everything.
Yes.
But these
how
people,
we get our news.
these I just have to say millennial cringe. It was these people being like, wands up for Dumbledore, and it sent, like, it was such powerful cringe that it sent chills. I'm like, this real man has died, and imagine you're his family and you see like a bunch of maladapted teenagers being like, wands up, and it's like they're all doing like really serious face. Like fully modeling
The blue steel.
yeah, and blue steel for sure, and they'll be like, they have their wands because they all have Harry Potter wands, and I get it, right? I get you feel an attachment to the characters and the actors, but is that appropriate? Imagine if someone from Beyblade died and you're like, let it rip.
Beyblade, let it rip. Yeah, I think there's a lot of Harry Potter cringe. There's a lot. When you go, like, I think it's up there with like Disney adults,
Oh yeah,
which is a whole nother deep dive. But it is millennials because it's like, it's literally our childhood, right?
your childhood.
I've never been.
I'm a baby.
Yeah. My childhood, yes. I've never been full blown, like, I like Harry Potter and I know what house I am. What house are you?
Guess.
You don't know? You haven't done the
I've done the test. I've done the test. I just want to know if you know. I want you to sort it out.
yeah,
on
yeah.
me. So sit on my face and tell me what house I'm in.
I know. Yeah, you're Hufflepuff.
Probably. Probably. I mean, I feel like everyone wants to think they're in Ravenclaw because they want to think they're like, ooh, so smart, so special.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was either Hufflepuff or Slytherin. But I mean, I'm not smart enough to be in Ravenclaw, that's for sure. But yeah,
I would go Hufflepuff or Gryffindor, to be honest.
I would say, yeah, probably Gryffindor for you, right?
I'm Ravenclaw, apparently, according to
right.
the official test.
Pottermore. Did they make you do
Pottermore
like a
test.
blood quantity test when you did that one?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just sending your blood, your
Yeah.
fingerprints, a strand of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. J.K. Rowling's like got a full outlay of all of our DNA, all the millennial DNA.
There's actually in every
yes.
single one of those Harry Potter ones you get from Disney World, there's a fingerprint reader.
Yeah. And your hair is inside of it.
Oh, for sure.
I did want one of those ones. Like if I was near a Disneyland, I guess, in the early 2000s, I would have got one. My mum made me one out of wood, like
okay.
painted it, and it was all cute because I went as I dressed as Hermione Granger for Halloween one year. So Mum made Hermie one. And Mum made that outfit with the cloak and everything. I think I still have the cloak. And Mum made me the tie, like using a tie with ribbon on it, because you couldn't buy the stripy ties and stuff like you can now. You know, you can see them everywhere now. You can get them from Spotlight, I think. But back in the day when I was
Is this something we can source a
14 or
photo
something?
for?
Oh,
Can we?
yeah,
Can
I
we
reckon.
source a photo? 'Cause
Yes,
I feel
I
like
think-
everyone needs to see this version of Hermie 1.
Yes, I think we can definitely find it. And it was before the movies, right? This is before, this is like pre, or like or maybe just as they were casting. Because I remember Emma Watson turning up. Remember her hair? The
Really
Hermie one
curly,
hair.
really curly
Very
hair.
curly, very frizzy. I had that exact hair. That was like me down to mousy brown, curly, frizzy. And I was like, I should play Hermione Granger. And I was like, if they cast for, the movies, if they need to recast, I can totally play Hermione Granger. Like they're going to just randomly come to New Zealand and be like, we need a random New Zealand child to play Hermione Granger. I was like,
Lord of the Rings did it.
True.
If Peter Jackson was directing those movies, you could have
Yeah.
had a shot.
That's
you could have
it.
been in it to win it, girl.
Oh, for sure. But the disillusionment of me being like, I'm going to play Hermione Granger, never acted in my life. Didn't matter.
I had the delusion growing up that I was somehow going to get on Disney Channel, right?
Oh.
But I was going to be the next Hannah Montana. And I don't know if you know much about Hannah Montana. It's a girl. So I was like, I'm going to be the next superstar girl.
Of course.
Of course. But with Harry
I
Potter,
don't think that's an illusion. That's accurate. So accurate.
it's an illusion.
That's it.
Do you remember the Mothers Against Satan thing with Harry Potter? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did that happen to your school? I know you went to like a boarding school. Ironically, you could have been Hermione. You went to a boarding school too.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when I dressed up as Hermione, I was like, this is pre-boarding school. Because I was like, did I say 14 before? That would have been absolutely inaccurate. Because 2001, I would have been maybe like 11 or something. 10, 11.
You were 11 in 2001?
Oh, no, I'm not doing the hang on. 13, 14, 12.
Hang on, you have to do 1965 minus 2003, and then...
I'm 1991. I'm going from, in 2005, when I went to college, I was 13. So I'm working backwards from there,
yes.
right? 11, 10, 9. So I was...
Fleetwood
9?
Mac had just come out.
I mean, probably, yeah.
The steam
I was
engine.
I was young anyway. I was a youngin. But I think I may have been like 11 because that's when they start at Hogwarts, right? That's when you get your letter. You get your letter at 11.
I didn't read the first one.
Jesus Christ.
I read Half-Blood Prince and Order of the Phoenix. I don't know what you want from me.
You're like, what? I don't know. Well, when they get the Hogwarts letter, it's 11. Like they start school early compared to like Australia and New Zealand high school, college standards, right? They start school.
I know why I never watched them. I remember why now. My mum was
Why?
too scared of them.
Oh,
My mum
Christian
was
mums
no,
against.
no. Much worse, much worse.
Oh,
We started watching that movie. We rented it from Blockbuster,
oh,
and
damn.
we started watching the scene where the Dudley falls into the snake enclosure, and she
Yes.
turned it off because she was too scared.
Oh,
She's like, such a fraidy cat. She was scared of the Teletubbies.
well,
She picks random things. But
Sure.
she was really scared of it. And then we tried to watch it all the way through. And Quirrell, you remember when he has the thing on the back of his
oh
head?
yeah.
That was pretty fucking spooky for me. But for her,
Yep.
she laughed. She was not about that life anymore.
Out. She's like, no.
Yes.
I mean, fair. It is creepy. It is very creepy. But I mean, of all of them, the first it's not
No.
that bad, and then it just gets progressively darker. You know that video that's going around of like just the opening title of Harry Potter for every movie and how dark, like physically dark, it gets
Yes.
throughout. It's
Yeah.
you're going from like, oh, magic, so fun, so sweet, kids, death, war, destruction.
Child soldiers.
Yeah, children dying constantly. Yeah, it gets dark. It gets dark really, really fast. But going back to your question about the Christian mums against Satan Harry Potter thing, that I remember that happening, but it didn't happen at our school. I don't remember that being a thing.
School. It happened at our school.
Did they like burn all the Harry Potter books?
Kind of. They heavily encouraged us not to watch it or listen to it. And Pokemon. All of our Pokemon cards were banned. A lot of kids were burning their Pokemon things, which I was like, if something's connected to like Satan, you don't want to burn it. You know what I mean? Like
No,
that just
he's
seems
like,
like yes.
He's
I
like, "Thank you
wanted
so
this
much."
shiny Charizard.
Yeah.
but-
He's like, gifts for me. I remember Pokemon cards like getting banned and sort of like and Tamagotchis and stuff, but that was more because kids were just, it was nuts and they weren't paying attention and it was
Yes.
chaos. That was not like a Hail Satan,
Ours was-
get rid of the
ours
Pokemon
was
cards, you know?
Yeah, ours was a Hail Satan.
That's insane.
It was nuts. But I remember we grew up really agnostic. We didn't really have any beliefs, but that meant I had a lack of education on, religious fanaticism. So
Yeah.
when I was told that, these cards are trying to possess you, I believed it. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
Because I'm a
Yeah.
child, and it's
and
to
adults are telling
indoctrinate
you.
children. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I guess I have to get rid of all my cards now because they're evil. And it took me like a long time to get out of that because I also didn't talk to my parents about it. And I was like, so it was a long time. I remember it was like Gen 3 at this time. It was like Chimchar and Turtwig and Piplup. And I remember I threw away all my shit. I didn't get rid of it because I was poor and we didn't do that. But I remember I put it in a box, put it away because I was like, this is evil. It's going to possess me. But I was like, I didn't have the, literacy or the media literacy to be like, why is this a thing? And I still don't get it. And it was like, oh, because it teaches evolution. It's like, not really though. Not really. It just has the word evolution in it.
I feel like the way, like, if you're going to ban Pokemon for anything, would it not be for just like animals fighting? You're literally making these
But they don't care about that.
animals fight. I know, yeah.
They don't care about that.
That's insanity. That's insanity.
Yeah. And Mewtwo, the god Pokemon. Oh no, Mewtwo wasn't the god. Arceus was the god.
No, Mew. Mew?
Mew was the original
Mewtwo.
Pokemon.
The little cute
Yeah.
one.
Don't think that was a god. But I think it was the original one.
I only remember the 151 original, and that's it. That's it.
Can you do
If
the
it wasn't
rap,
in
though?
my little red Pokédex that I think I still have at home somewhere.
I still have mine.
Yeah. Then it doesn't exist to me. And the book. I had the book with all the, all the Pokemon in it. All
I got-
151 of them.
I really loved Pokemon. I had so there's this thing in Melbourne called the Caribbean Gardens or the Caribbean Market. And what it was is it's a giant market filled with stalls and you used to go there and that's where I used to buy counterfeit games as a child. because it was cheaper than buying them. You know what I mean? And we couldn't afford anything, so we used to get these R4s, which was like, did you ever have an R4 for your DS?
No.
It was like it was like an
I
SD
had a
card.
Nintendo DS for a hot minute. Like the foldy uppy one?
Yes, yeah. But the
Yeah.
R4, it was like 200 games on one SD card. And like you could, yeah, it was really good. And that's how I played all the Pokemon games, right? And I got this and I was like, okay, I need the guides. I need the guides because I didn't understand how to play these games because I was dumb. I'm still dumb. But I was like, so for my birthday, I got this guide to Pokemon Diamond Pearl, and it had the full Pokédex in it, which I loved. I used to read that every day religiously, right? And one day I took it to school after I got it and immediately stolen. And it was like one of the most heartbreaking moments of my childhood. It was so fucked up.
So
and
rude.
then later in life, I went to my friend's house, who I thought was my friend, and I saw that motherfucking book in his bookshelf, and I was like, okay,
That little thieving bitch.
I'm wrong. He just bought it. It's not the same. I open it up, my initials on the back page. This cunt watched me cry about this book. I was distraught over this thing, right? Because we barely got anything, right, when I was younger. I had to wait until my birthday to get anything, as most people probably watching, pretty similar. I was so upset, and then it was just like a betrayal, you know what I mean? And then the next time I went back, the back page was ripped off. And I was like, interesting.
The one with your initials on it?
Yes, yeah.
What a little bitch.
What a little
That's
bitch.
So rude.
So rude.
And also the fact that he was like, oh no, Brad was here. He could have seen it. Let me
I
just
did
rip
see
that
it.
out.
He saw me see it.
He saw you see it and then still ripped the back page out. Like it was going to make a freaking difference.
I know. But yeah.
My God.
It was, yeah, but anyways, the Christian side of it, yeah, pretty much everything got thrown away. Lots of people would throw the toys into the creek. We had like a big creek that went past our school. And people would throw shit.
Fuck the ducks as well, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Well, there wasn't really many of those. There was lots of eels. feed them the stuffed animals.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of eels, but yeah, I guess fuck the eels. Like,
Yeah.
yeesh. No, yeah, I don't remember it. I remember reading a lot of, stuff about it, and I remember it happening. I thought it was just like the US, like the Bible Belt, and like where people were going a bit nuts about it. I guess maybe New Zealand was a bit further reserved from that much chaos. I don't know. But I did go to a Christian school, but I guess, it was kind of like toning itself down as I was going there because we, like I said, I went to boarding school, so we did have to go to church on the weekends, on Sundays, and we'd have to put our uniform on and walk up to the boys' college and we'll go to church. Very fun on a Sunday morning. But they then got rid of that after 11, I think. So they were kind of like on the verge of like, this, we don't really need to do this anymore. It's not really like, it's not a truly strict Christian school, you know what I mean?
Right. Did they still get the funding for being a Christian school?
Probably. They had us paying their funding. Boarding school fees, insane. I don't know.
I have always, so I remember, I left last episode, right? Really curious about the boarding school experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, what was the food like? I'm so fat that I'm thinking immediately that. What was the food like? Was it like prison gruel?
There was, like, there'd be meals that you'd be excited for. I think it's the same as, I attribute it to American, like, cafeteria food where they're like, oh my God, it's Nacho Tuesday or whatever, and they're excited for, like, that particular meal. There's definitely meals that we were like, fuck yes, we're getting. And nachos actually was one of them. Nachos this week, it was pretty good. Like, I'm not a fussy gal. There's not really anything I wouldn't eat, to be honest. I don't like cheese very much, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was bad. And it was always like hot dinners and stuff. In the winter, they did really nice soups and bread rolls. And then during the week for lunches, 2 days of the week, we had what was called like a hot lunch. So you could go back and it was literally a hot lunch of some description. And then every other day of the week, you'd have to pack your own lunch. So they put out stuff for like sandwiches. There'd be fruit, and then they'd do like a slice or like a biscuit of some description. And you just have to grab what you needed to take with you.
So boarding school, right? So do you go at the start of the year and then come back at the end of the year, or do you spend the whole year there? Like I didn't have that experience. So how did it work?
I mean, you've seen the first Harry Potter movie, right?
Yes.
When Harry Potter, I'm not going home. Not really. So yeah, we do go home. So
over Christmas
so at the
break.
end of terms and terms. So there's school holidays, like what, 2 weeks? Was it 2 weeks? Between terms,
Usually.
term 1 through 4. And then obviously the big Christmas break. In saying that, you couldn't stay if you were like, I want to stay between terms. Like there'd be no
teachers.
There'd be no staff there to like, I think actually they rented out a lot of the dorms sometimes for sports teams and stuff.
Oh, right.
To stay. I think that was a thing. Because you have to you have to actually pack your whole room up. It was very annoying. So
what ages did you do it? Like, was it like grade 7 to 12, or was it?
So your grades are slightly different to New Zealand. So so from ages 13 to 17, 18, depending on what, how late in the year you're turning. I was nearly 18 by the time I left because I'm a December baby. So that was for us year 9 through 13. So our year 13 is your year 12.
Right.
Yeah. So I did the full experience, the full high school boarding school experience. And that was mainly because we were moving so much that when I was finishing up intermediate school, it was kind of like, well, it's easier on exam periods and that sort of stuff to just have one set school. I don't need to worry about, moving all the time. And my dad's mum actually went to the school I went to. So that literally the only reason I managed to get in, to be honest, because I applied very late in the school year. And a lot of the snobbier schools where we were moving to in Auckland were like, what are you doing? There's like a wait list of, 4 years. You put your child into the school 4 years in advance, and then you turn, and we're going in November for the next school year, and they're going, no.
Absolutely not, you peasant.
Absolutely not. And I look like this, so.
You looked like that back then?
Well, I had blue-black hair.
Oh.
Because I was a little goth girl.
And now you're a slightly less
and
little
now I'm a
goth girl.
slightly less little. Yes.
Still
so,
little.
And
Still little.
I didn't have tattoos or anything, obviously, but I was, a little alternative queen. And they're just like looking me up and down. No.
I did not go to a prestigious school.
No.
I went to the school that people would send the kids who got kicked out of every other school.
Right.
But that was my first school. It wasn't like I was a bad kid. It was.
No.
I went to this school, and it was like one of the poorest in the state. I followed my friends, and I was like, because all my friends were going there because they lived near it. I didn't live super close
so you just
by,
zoned
but,
in that area, right? Yeah.
Pretty much. And I went to that school, and my parents were like, why do you want to go there? Like, you could go to any school. Because my grades weren't terrible. They weren't great. But I could have really gone anywhere. And I was zoned for one of the nicest schools in the area. But I was like, but all my friends are going to this new place. And I don't want to be alone. And then immediately I stopped being friends with those people. Immediately.
That's unfortunately. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I played myself so hard, but I still have lots of friends from my high school days. But Yeah, was it an all girls school?
Yeah. Yeah, it was an all-girls school. I don't know of, I mean, not that I've done the research too hard, but I don't know of any sort of mixed, boarding schools.
Mm.
And saying that, the boys' college version of us was literally just up the road. So
Right.
we did, when you get into your senior years, you do actually have some mixed classes that you might have to walk to boys' college for, or the boys have to walk to girls' college for. But it's very, it's the minority. Like it's not often that you would see the boys' college boys or whatever,
Right.
except when we saw them for church
Ooh.
or our school dances.
Was there ever any scandals like of the girls like hooking up with the boys?
Of course there was. The amount of... I could do like a full episode just on the drama that ensued and the shenanigans that went on and the amount of times that we snuck out and drank and just... Don't
Allegedly.
Allegedly for legal... No, not allegedly. I got suspended and sent home
shit.
for drinking. So my parents know.
Prosecutedly.
Yeah, prosecuted. Yeah, found out illegal. Yeah, so there's a lot of I think it's probably a little bit harder to sneak out of there now. I think they upgraded the dorms that the seniors were in.
defences.
So the defenses, yes, the dorms that we were in as seniors were the oldest part by the time we got to seniors, and then like as they slowly redid all the dorms, so and I think they did redo them because I went back to visit and it was all fancy and like they had a really nice common room area and all this sort of stuff, and I was like, hey, you ain't getting out of here.
There's bars on the window.
Yeah, legit.
With
And
a
they're like,
plaque
it's
with
just
your
so
name
people
on it.
can't get in. It's so people can't
It's
get in
for safety reasons.
for safety. No, do you want to know how we got out?
Yes. Yes, I do.
They can't do it now, so I can tell you. So our dorms had louver windows, the ones that like, wait, I can't even do it because I'm stupid. Like this, right? And they were glass,
Yeah.
and you just had like a curtain. You could jimmy them out.
You clicked the slats out of plate.
You could pull the little glass bits
Nice.
out of the things. I don't think they're meant to do that. I think the
No.
glue was just like that old that you could just, and you pull a few out and you
Oh, right.
slip out, go out for your jaunt.
You
and
turn
come
into
back.
a bat. You fly down to the boys' college.
If I could turn into a bat, I wouldn't need to jimmy the
That's
the
true.
louvers out. I
That's
could
true,
just
actually, yeah,
slip on
now that
through.
now
But
that you
yeah.
say it.
yes. But then like you're also sort of semi on the roof, so you gotta, shuffle.
Sneak off, right?
Down
So
the roof.
How did you get
Down the roof.
caught?
I not for sneaking out specifically. It was for having vodka, and I mean they didn't know that they didn't catch us drinking it, but we just had it. And
It's for
then
disinfecting cuts, miss.
yes, and you know what? It was because someone tattled on us, me and
Bitch.
another gal. Yeah, that hoe. And
Say
then
the name. Say it out loud.
I don't actually remember who it was.
That's how irrelevant they are. Stinky
Yeah.
bitch.
No, yeah, I don't actually remember, but yeah, that's how it happened. And then me and my other friend, who both had the vodka, the contraband, got suspended and sent home
To the chokey. Oh.
to the choky. Yes. So yeah, the chaos, so much chaos. Don't send your children to boarding school.
My school, it was like, I hear the word contraband. People sold meth at my school.
I'm like, we had vodka, and you're like, we had meth.
I was like, cute. Like
Meth
all
is a
of-
very Australian thing. It's not.
Really?
You'd be like, I got some weed in New Zealand. Like
Right.
that's, yeah.
We got
Meth,
kiwi
thank God.
biscuits.
Yeah.
I don't. It is interesting because some of the teachers used to sell drugs. So what happened was it was a very bad school, and then a principal came in and sort of like cleaned it up, and it was a non-uniform school until this principal came in. Of course, the year before I start, right?
Yeah.
So my little fat fuck, milkmaid looking bitch ass had to fit into this school uniform, and I looked fugly in it. It was the ugliest uniform. I'll show you off
What
camera.
colour?
Maroon. It was
the
black
worst
shorts, white shirt, maroon wool, fake wool fleece jumper. It
Yeah.
was it was a nightmare. But I was fat, so I wore it all the time, right? And I was never not
Yeah.
wearing that fucking jumper.
Yeah. And it's Australia, so you would have been fucking hot in the summer.
Hot girl summer. It was bad.
Yuck.
And none of the
Sweetie
rooms
girl
had air
summer.
conditioning. None of the rooms. I mean, they
Oh my
had
God, it should be
heating,
illegal.
but it was very vague. It was very vague. It was only certain rooms, none of the hallways. And you had to, they kicked you out at lunch and recess. You couldn't be in the hallways, which I never really understood.
Yeah, they did that to us too.
I
Yeah,
don't-
they're like, you have to go outside and get some sunshine. I'm like, fuck off. I just want to sit and read a book or talk to my
Yeah.
friends. I don't want to be kicking a ball around.
It should be up to
Also,
me
I'm in a
if I want to
skirt.
get a DVT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we always found creative ways to be inside. But yeah, my school was very not. It tried to be strict, but I think it understood the limitations of you have a group of very disadvantaged kids. How do we keep them in school? And I feel like they
Pick
had
your
to really
battles.
toe that line.
Yeah.
We were right next to a set of shops, right? And the canteen that we had in the actual school closed down for a couple of years. So if you didn't bring your lunch, your only other option was to go to the bakery or the the milk bar. But you weren't allowed to leave campus unless you were
No,
in year
yeah, I was about
12,
to say,
right?
were you allowed to leave? Yeah.
No. So, but we did, obviously. Me
Obviously.
and my friend Kelsey, she won't mind me saying her name, used to sneak out of school every single day and go and get a V Kaboom. Do you remember the V Kabooms? Kaboom V.
We talked about my kryptonite.
I
on
know
the
V.
podcast
I know
already.
V, you're listening. And if you could bring back Kaboom V, that would be really good of you. And if you could sponsor us and send us a lifetime supply of Kaboom V as
Or
your
Blue
best
V.
customers,
But don't send it to me because
send them both
I
to
love
me.
it. But don't.
Send them both to me.
I had to cut myself off. Because Blue V is my kryptonite.
I'll go into cardiac failure. I don't care. I need it.
But Brad can have it.
Yeah. But Kaboom
Take
V,
one for the
we used
team.
to sneak out Kaboom V, and then there was a milk bar that had the best chips, and the teachers used to think they were really hot shit. They used to come in, and you'd see all the year 7 scatter, right? They'd all flock
my
away,
God.
and then me and Kelsey would sit there fuck that. What are they gonna do? You know what I mean? If they tell us off, it's more paperwork for them to give us detention.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
And they used to come in and sit next to us at the chip shop, and we'd be like, hello. And then we were just
They're
eating our
like,
food. What are they
"Hello."
going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
get suspended. Oh, we both hate school anyway. And they knew
Yeah,
that.
you're like, oh, great.
They
Yeah.
were like, oh, we'll just give them a day off. It's what we want. It's what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those teachers are probably just over it too. They're just like,
So done.
I'm just, whatever.
But
That's-
the only time we would be sneaky was sneaking out and sneaking in. But I remember I made friends with a lot of the teachers, and I'd bring them stuff back from the bakery because they didn't get lunch, they didn't get time. So I used to bring them
wow.
food, and they'd be like, "Where'd you get this?" And I was like, "Brought it from home."
No
So-
way.
'cause
Just
that-
in a bakery
yeah,
chip
yeah.
container. I definitely have
Yes.
a deep fryer at my house and takeaway chip containers.
Yes. But they asked the question, but they don't want the answer. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
Um,
They're like,
I was
oh,
like,
good.
yeah, and
And they're
often-
also hot still. The
Yes,
chips are hot.
yes.
And they're like, you brought these this morning
Yeah.
at 8 a.m. And they're
Yes.
still warm. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
But they were more appreciative than they. And I wasn't a suck up. It was only the ones who actually took care of me that I would, do these favors for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
What was your school's drama? I feel like every school had something, right?
This will give away which
The
school I
tea.
went to because it was in national media, right? Our
Oh.
principal came through and changed the face of the school, right? Changed it from a Darrow school, kicked out all the bludgers, and reinstated rules, right? And sort of kind of shaped it up. But it came out later on that she was misappropriating school funds, hiring prostitutes, cheating on her wife with these prostitutes. She hired hotel rooms to stay in these hotel rooms with these prostitutes. And this is all, well, actually not really hearsay because it was in the news, but um,
Allegedly.
she was hiring with school funds. So she immediately got fired.
Wow.
Right? Well, no, she got suspended upon investigation.
Right.
But it was like she had spent like a lot of the school's money. And this was a poor school that didn't get a lot of funding. Even now, it still doesn't get a ton of funding because the way that Australian schools work, it just... if you're from a poor area, you get less funding. If you're from a rich area, even if you're in the same, you have the same amount of...
Yeah.
So anyways, but yeah, so that was the big one.
Tea.
With the principal who had reinstated rules was corrupt.
That's insane. You know what? I wonder if she was brought in and been given tons of money to like take, not
Maybe.
bribed, so to speak, but if you go to this really awful school, we'll, pay you really, really handsomely. And she's kind of like, yeah, okay, all right, I'll do the thing. And I'll get some prostitutes.
But they have a new principal who's really doing well. He's like actually changed the school. I feel like a couple of years after I left, you can't.
Every single time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, the drama at my school, I mean, there was a lot of personal drama, but like the big like school-wide drama was being an all-girls school. We did have male teachers, not as many as, and I think probably like hardly any now, to be fair. I think that they're very few and far between, but we had one male teacher who we always thought he was weird.
Oh.
Looked weird, he acted weird, and he was weird, as we found out that he liked to diddle girls. And we found this out after we graduated, but it was just so interesting that we were like, yeah, there's something off about that dude. Super off.
What?
Yikes.
I have a theory about these teachers. What subject did he teach?
Oh, I think it was science.
It's always the science teachers that are the creepiest. We had science teachers who had nicknames around being creepy. And there was one specifically who used to add all the kids on Facebook and talk to them. And I was like, that's really inappropriate. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're not being sexually inappropriate with people, having that closeness, it sort of discredits your authority. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because that's kind of the point, right? You need to stay in a point of authority with these kids. But yeah, it was very, very creepy. Very, very
adding
creepy.
them on Facebook it's giving Miranda Sings. It's not, it's...
It's serving Colleen Ballinger. It's serving Toxic Gossip Train.
It's serving ukulele.
But how did it come out? How did it come out that he was a groomer?
I don't know how the police found out, but I just remember an article coming out and us being like, the fuck? It's him? Like,
Of
and
course
just being like,
him.
yeah. I think if we were at the school at the time, we might have heard more about the ins and outs of what actually happened. But obviously we had been graduated, I think, a couple of years at that point. Right. So we didn't get the full scoop, so to speak. And I didn't know anyone in the years below really to sort of ask. Yeah. But very, I always love hearing people's high school tea.
I feel like that's less tea and more just horribly sad for those girls.
It is, yeah.
Right?
It is horribly sad, yeah.
You're like, ooh, spill the tea. But it's like, they're traumatized forever now.
Grooming. Yeah. Yeah,
Miranda.
yeah, that's true. Speaking of tea.
Mm-hmm. No fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way.
Look how cute.
That is so cool.
My ring light hates this. It hates it. There's actually tea in it too, so I can't really.
I'll put a photo up on the in the video.
Yeah, I will. And it's pink on the inside.
And the chrome effect on the purple. That's so sick.
I think that might be the galaxy lamp because it's not that fancy. But I have one for you that I need to ship to you. But it's cute. See,
That's
I was
so
gonna
cool.
wait until I could ship it to you, and then you could open it.
Just like
Like,
I've
on
opened
the
your
po-
wedding
but-
invite.
Yes. Yeah, I'd be waiting a long time. I'd be like, can you open it now?
Like,
Yeah.
you got a package.
Yeah.
God,
But
that is
it's-
sick. That's so sick.
And it has a pink handle.
And a pink, is that pink inside or is that just a trick of the
Yeah,
light?
it's pink on the inside.
That's so
Mhm.
sick. That's so just like us.
Oh.
I like how we transitioned from grooming to this.
I know. So, just so sweet. It's just so sweet.
You've groomed me with the cup. That's so cool. So you have merch for us. I mean, just for us right now.
I mean, yeah, just fast. Yeah, I haven't. This isn't like a merch announcement. I just get excited.
we have
I
approximately
get excited
4
and I design
subscribers
stuff.
currently. So I think
Oh,
maybe
perfect.
merch would be, what's that, selling the cart before the horse?
Yeah, I think accurate. I just like having merch for me
Yeah.
and for you
Hey, I
because then
like
it makes
stuff.
us fancy.
I like stuff fancy.
That's it.
Speaking of
That's it.
fancy, I think we should do our millennial connection.
We should.
So, okay, Zoomer. Have you seen the TikToks about the Roman Empire? About asking your significant other? Okay,
I have not seen any TikToks, but I've seen memes,
okay.
and I'm so confused.
How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Like never.
Like never. I almost want you to take pause and go ask Craig. Can you?
I mean, I can. You
need
have to edit around me going
yes,
to.
that's fine. It's what it is men apparently think about the Roman Empire at least once a week, and I can confirm I do. But women have different Roman empires, right? They have different, subjects where they think about, things. Like, I'm pretty sure one of them was American Horror Story Coven and things like that. Like, things that you think about a lot that are not necessarily, like, relevant today.
American Horror Story.
Yeah. But, like, Roman Empire, I think about a lot. And specifically with, like, the founding mythology of it. And mythology in general of back then, but I think about it a lot. My partner thinks about it a lot, and I don't know. It must be a boy thing, I guess.
Yeah,
but that's the thing, and it's a TikTok trend asking their partners how often they think about the Roman Empire to like prove this theory.
That's interesting. Well, he's putting baby to bed, so I can't run in there and ask him, but I can message him. So let's find out.
Yes.
How often do you think about the Roman Empire? And he plays like Age of Empires, so he's probably going to be like,
A lot.
a lot.
Once a week, at least, when I get destroyed by them.
I wanted to ring him, but baby's sleeping.
Yes.
so-
Yeah. Possibly. a
I'm
poor
sorry,
choice.
listeners. I'm sorry. Yeah, terrible choice. But we shall see. But I wonder what the girl version, like, has there been a girl version of like this trend?
I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a lot of different things. And people have taken it to kind of a sad place. Like, I saw this video slideshow the other day of This Is My Roman Empire. And it was this girl, her name's Demi Austin on TikTok. And she's really, really good. She put up this thing. She was in an abusive relationship. And it was like, This is my Roman Empire. And she like went through a slideshow of like her experience with this guy. And he was like threatening suicide in these texts and all this stuff. Really, really terrible, really heavy stuff. And then it goes like her alcoholism and then her recovery and things that she thinks about
wow.
all, every week, at least a couple
took it
times a week.
to a dark place.
So dark. But I was like, that is kind of true though. Like, I don't know. It was just impressively done. And I feel like everything she does is quite impressive. But, yeah.
I mean, what would be something that you would think about on a daily basis? Apart from nothing like food, because,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
On the daily. Well, what's yours? Let me think. I'll have to think about it. But what would be yours?
I mean, obviously, my baby.
Well,
but that's a very boring,
yeah.
that's a very cop out kind of an answer. I don't know. Yeah. I can't think of anything that's random
No.
that I think about on a daily basis. There probably is something really random that I think about on a daily basis. Probably like hair dye. I probably think about hair dye on a daily
You
basis.
do have a hair dye company.
Or like hair coloring of some description, because I also get a lot of that on my socials, so it's kind of always sort of around in the zeitgeist of my feed.
I think about, so I'm quite late in life diagnosis, right, with the mental health stuff. And I think about, quite often I'll think about like signs that really should have been looked into when I was younger. But I was like, hang on, that's something, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
realizing later in life that, that sort of thing. But I don't know, it's hard because it's like,
I'm
what?
like, hair dye, and you're like, let's take it down.
Yeah.
To...
Yeah.
I think about hair dye and lipstick.
Yeah. I'm like, existential crisis. Yeah, I was fundamentally let down by my parents. Hair dye. And now I have this, so which is a sign.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, I recently got this done.
And it looks fabulous.
I didn't use Earthwitch hair color because
No.
none has been sent to me comped. And I just think
because yes, I am going to send you some with your mug because it's easier to package it
together
with some hair dye as well. So it's a good sort of way to do it. But I don't have any teal, and I know that that's like you're doing a teal turquoise moment, and that's why I haven't sent you any. I can, however, send you two to sort of mix.
That's
to
what
create.
I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. So my hairdresser does 50% green, 50% blue. And, you know, sometimes she fluctuates. But I'm like, I don't know. I really like the teal. The teal is kind of my shiz at the moment. At the moment. Like, I haven't had it for 10 years. But I like this one. I liked the pink. I liked pink. Which
pink moment.
I
This
did
is
by
pink.
accident. I did by accident completely. I did electric blue by Manic Panic. And I bleached it as per your instructions. And you taught me how to do the bleach shampoo wash thing.
Yeah.
And so I did it. And then I looked up and it was pink and I was feeling my oats. And I was like, I'll give it a couple of days just to rest. I fully grew it out. I loved
couple of days, months later.
Well, that is a couple of days, Ellie.
That's true.
This
I severely need to do mine, but I have.
It kind of works
time.
very well into fetish of the week.
Oh,
so,
before we do fetish of the week, let me scroll backwards to how often does Craig think about the Roman Empire? Verbatim quote, because I'm reading this. Often. Star Wars sequels and when gauging distances covered in a day.
What does that mean? Distances covered in a day? What does that mean?
When gauging distances covered in a day. I guess, wasn't it like to do with how far Romans walked with horses and carts and...
shields and spears.
It's a legit smart man answer.
I know. That's not not the answers that I've been getting.
But he did say often, which makes me laugh.
It's a theory that men often think about, and I do all the time, think about Roman Empire.
It's clearly true. And I think that I knew the answer because Craig is quite like a historian anyway. Like he loves history buff
stuff. Is that because he's so old he remembers it?
Yes.
Only because I know that Craig listens to this and I'm going to get a tag on Facebook being like,
he literally gave me so much shit today being like, I'm your only listener and you need to be nice to me on the podcast.
I feel like bullying him is a much easier road to him listening because he's like,
it's much
what
more
are these
fun.
cunts going to talk about today?
Pretty much. And he always afterwards he goes, and what did you talk about? And I'm like, no.
You wait.
You have to watch.
You have to wait until Brad shifts his ass and edits this.
And also because I clock off and I forget because baby brain.
Hey.
It's like...
I feel like we talked about Harry Potter at some point, I think. But
I think so, yeah.
Speaking of Harry Potter, fetish of the week.
Fetish of the week.
So this week we have stigmatophilia, speaking of the Romans, which is the sexual attraction to piercings, like body piercings. And I kind of, not that I get it, but I kind of get it, right?
I kind of get it.
Like,
I have lots of
Yes.
piercings, and I obviously find them attractive. Otherwise, I wouldn't get them.
Yes. Do you
Like, you
find
get them thinking that it makes you more attractive. That's why you get them, right?
Yes.
It's a purely cosmetic.
It's body piercings and tattoos. So
Oh, okay. Yes.
I kind of get it. Like the emo vibe, I
Yeah.
really into, right?
I've been trying to get Craig to get his nose pierced, and he's like, "No, I'm too old for that." And I'm like, "Well,
Well,
if you did it when I asked you 10 years ago when we got together, then
I know.
you're old now."
You just have to deal with his other piercing now. So I, but yeah, like piercings and tattoos are hot. I feel like we just have to, but am I physically obsessed with seeing them? Probably not. But do I appreciate them? Absolutely. I think
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
have any. That's the annoying thing. I really wanted to
You
get
don't
my
have
septum
any?
done. I really wanted to get my septum done, but I have like a really, I don't know. I don't have the nose for it. I don't have the nose for it. It's like a bulby sort of nose.
I have quite a bulby nose. I just contour the shit out of it. like I actually don't have any dips, like the indents.
Oh, really?
here. Yeah, it's which the lovely lady who pierced my nose told me, and she fucked it up essentially because it's way too close to here.
Oh, right. That would have got mad infected.
I had like a little bubble. I got this done so long ago. I was 20 or something. But she did it way too low. Like it should be like here.
Yeah.
And I should get it redone. But the effort involved,
Is a lot. Yeah.
it's a lot. Yeah. And the rehealing and all that sort of stuff. But when I can't really wear a ring in it because it looks super weird because it's so close.
What I worried about
Yeah.
and why I didn't get my ears pierced is like I sleep in very strange positions and I worry about like ripping my ears off.
Oh.
I don't know. I have very, very weird
Ear piercings are
worries about
a
it.
pain in the butt. They are a pain in the butt. I had my industrial done and it never healed. The industrial is the one that goes like
Across
a bar. So you get two piercings in one essentially. And they're horrible to heal anyway. And obviously you're not meant to sleep on it. And also I went to the hairdresser and they like yanked on it numerous times. I had that like that you get the comb caught in between the bar and your ear. And my hairdresser once was like, "Oh, can we take it out to do your hair?" And I'm like, "Well, it still hasn't healed. So ideally, no." Like, it's just this vicious cycle of like, you go to the hairdresser, they yank on it, it doesn't heal. You can't take it out.
This is not the same. But one time I had a really terrible sunburn and the back of my ears were completely blistered and they kept digging the comb into it at the hairdresser because my mum forced me to go. And like, I was like, I'm bleeding. Could you please be a little more gentle? And they were like, yeah, of course. Like with a garden rake. It was just fucked up.
They're just always so fast. They're too fast, and you're like, can you just
Please.
It's not like I hardly
some
ever go to
scalp
hairdresser
left,
now.
Please.
Yeah, please stop. Please.
My knee.
Please. And I always used to remember when they'd go near it with the comb, I'm like, they're gonna catch.
Yeah.
I'm like, please, like,
Be careful, please.
get away. Yeah.
Mine-
But I do have my my conch done.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't had any issues with that, but I did have it pierced with a straight bar first, which you're meant to do before you can have the ring in
Doing
it.
the curly
And
one.
I wanted the ring because Jenna Marbles had it, and I was like, that is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God. I miss her. I
She's
know
like
we
the
talked
original
about this
ego.
last
I'm like,
time.
I fucking need her. Yeah. I feel like every episode, maybe we think about Jenna Marbles every day.
Actually, yes. I absolutely do. Even that, like that,
Legit.
like the squeaky
Yeah.
sound she has at the start of her videos. I think
Yes.
about a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, Jenna Marbles. I often think
Right.
about her because she had like a degree in psychology, right?
Yes, I remember her like showing the
Yeah.
the framed certificate. Yeah.
She had like a bachelor or a master's degree in psychology, and I
Yeah.
remember thinking about that when she was making herself into a toothbrush. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I can see why
Yeah.
you might be a bit burnt out.
Yes.
Because she's got this
Yes.
galaxy brain. She's doing things like making herself into a disco
Yes.
ball.
Oh yeah, when she bedazzled her entire face.
That was so sick. I miss her.
Yeah, I love her. Yeah.
But yes, piercings, right? I very into them. I haven't got a tat. I'm so indecisive. That's the problem. That's the only reason I haven't got one. And
But see, the thing is, you get to a point with tattoos where it just doesn't matter. You know, you get the first one, you're like, this is because my mum and the flower represents my life and us blooming.
and this is a
you know, like all this-
cabbage.
Yeah, and then you're like, I got a pineapple with a smiley face because it
Yeah.
looks cute.
Yeah, and if you turn it upside down, you're a swinger.
Like, I mean, I don't know if I can.
Oh, grave.
It's my little cute gravestone, and he has a smiley face.
Rest in peace. Oh my god.
Rip
I saw
my
this
life.
I saw this Facebook post the other day. Oh no, not Facebook, Twitter. About it was like
X.
It was like so sorry. About it was an X about things that they've accidentally done as a cashier, and somebody said to this elderly customer, "Rest in peace," instead of "Have a nice day." Which I think is just
How do you
the
accidentally
coolest
do that?
slam. It's the coolest slam. Rest in peace. Instead of, if we just started referring to old
What?
boomers as like rest in peace, that would be
Rest in
so
peace.
sickening. Can you imagine?
My God.
Rest in peace.
I don't even know how you accidentally do that. That's
Because they're thinking, oh,
Yeah,
you're
it's
old,
funny.
you're going to die soon. They're probably horrible to them. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
They're boomers, right? Rest in peace.
probably
I think we should,
purposeful. Yeah.
that really should start, like that should take on. If you're horrible
Mm-hmm.
to me, I should remind you about your mortality. Rest in
Oh, yeah.
peace.
Rest in peace, bitch. It's
Anyways.
always the old ones too. It's always the old ones. Ugh.
Anyways, speaking of rest in peace, we will see you next week where we have lots more to cover because we didn't cover everything this week, but it's been an hour and
That's it.
I don't want to edit another 2-hour podcast. So
Yeah.
we hope
That's
you
fair.
guys have a good week and rest in peace.
Rest in peace.